Hi there, I'm Vincent Boss and I provide dating and self-improvement advice. And in today's podcast, we're going to be discussing what happens when you don't contact your ex. I provide audio coaching to help people try and get their ex back or get a new girlfriend or boyfriend. Check out my website for more details. www.dateme.tips. Please check your spam and junk folders if you are expecting an email from me. So now let's get back into today's podcast, and today we are discussing what happens when you don't contact your ex. So if you have been dumped and want to try to get your ex back, you will likely wonder what would happen if you don't contact your dumper after the breakup. In today's podcast, I discuss the 3 likely dumper feelings when a dumpee does not contact them. So let's get straight into this, and point number 1 is they feel relaxed. So if you're a dumpee listening to this, you're probably thinking the last thing that I want my ex-dumper to be feeling is relaxed. I don't want them feeling relaxed and calm after they broke up with me. I don't want them feeling that this is everything they could have ever dreamed of. But we have to understand the perspective of the dumper during the breakup process. At the time of the breakup, the dumper was feeling a very low level of romantic emotional attraction for their now dumpee. That is why somebody ends a relationship. The hard truth is that somebody ends a relationship because they are not feeling fulfilled. They are not feeling like this relationship is going to bring them happiness in the long term. Now, this, of course, can change. Their mindset is right now. It doesn't mean they're going to feel this way in months or years to come. But right now, the breakup has taken place. Now, when they action the breakup, the dumper is fully aware that the dumpee is unlikely to be happy with their decision. The dumper is fully aware that the dumpee is likely to be emotional and trying to persuade them to get back into a relationship. They understand this by and large. And most dumpers do not want to hurt their dumpee. They don't want to hurt their ex, but they feel they have no choice but to end the relationship. So they're in a position where they know they are likely causing pain and upset, but most dumpers don't want to. So they are feeling slightly nervous at the time of a breakup about what is going to happen during the aftermath. They don't know exactly how the dumpee will take this. They might have a good idea, and this idea is probably not a stable situation. So if after the breakup takes place, the dumpee does not contact the dumper is going to be feeling relaxed. They're going to be thinking, wow, okay, this wasn't as bad as I actually feared, because they were fearing that the dumpee may be constantly contacting them, maybe banging on their door, maybe waiting for them outside of their work. They might be thinking all of these situations and scenarios that haven't actually taken place. So if the dumpee does not behave in a needy, desperate, or overly emotional way after the breakup, this is a relief for the dumper. The dumper is feeling relaxed because they were fearing the worst. Now, as a dumpee, you might be thinking, well, I don't want them feeling this way. I don't want them feeling relaxed. I certainly don't want them feeling relief. So maybe I should just do those things. Maybe I should be knocking on their door, texting them, calling them, etc. But I'm here to tell you that this won't help. Okay, if you make your ex-dumper feel the opposite of relaxed, that is stressed, that is frustrated, that is angry. If you make your ex-dumper feel those types of feelings, you're not going to be getting them back. Okay, you're going to be pushing them further away. Remember, the opposite of relaxed is stressed. Okay, it's frustrated, it's angry, it's worried. Those feelings aren't going to help you. So although you don't want your ex-dumper to feel relaxed, you certainly don't want them feeling angry, frustrated, or upset with you. They have ended the relationship because they were not feeling fulfilled. They were not feeling satisfied in this relationship. If you now make them feel even more frustrated, even more angry, even more worried, even more concerned, this, of course, won't help your cause. If you look at it from this perspective, if your dumper ended the relationship because they were not feeling happy within the connection, then the worst thing you can do is make them feel even less happy. So although at first you're probably thinking, I don't want my ex-dumper to feel relaxed, I don't want them feeling that. Well, let me tell you, you certainly don't want them feeling the opposite of this. Because if you do, things could get a lot worse for you. You could be blocked, you could have a restraining order put on you, and you will be increasing the likelihood of you never hearing from your dumper again. So, although relaxed is not necessarily what you would initially really want your ex to be feeling after they break your heart, ultimately, this is the first step to you potentially reconnecting with them. Because if you want to reconnect with your ex, they need to be feeling positive thoughts towards you, not frustrated, anger, or concern. So now let's get into point number 2 and the second point of today's podcast about what happens when you don't contact your ex. And point number 2 is they feel wonder. So as a Dumpee, if you don't contact your ex after the breakup, then first of all, as I said, your ex-dumper is likely to feel relaxed. But then if you maintain this, if you maintain my version of the no contact rule, and if you want to learn more about that and the differences between my version and other people's, please check out my playlist on my YouTube channel entitled The No Contact Rule. But if you implement the No Contact Rule, my variety of it, then you will first have a situation where your ex is feeling relaxed. But then if you maintain this and follow the hints, tips and advice I give in my other podcasts, as well as more specific advice if you want to speak with me one-on-one via my audio coaching service, you will create a situation where your ex-dumper will wonder about you. They will wonder about you because after initially feeling relaxed, they'll be slightly confused and thinking, look, why isn't my ex-Dumpee contacting me? So it's an interesting scenario that we have where consciously the dumper does not want their ex to contact them, but subconsciously they are expecting their Dumpee to contact them. So they don't want their ex to contact them, but subconsciously they expect their ex to contact them. And therefore, if they don't, as time ticks by, we see wonder develop in the dumper's mind. Now, this can take a wide-ranging time, okay? Some situations will see this take place within weeks. Sometimes it takes months. But there is going to be a scenario, a situation, a time frame where the dumper will at least wonder about their Dumpee. It doesn't mean that they will necessarily want to reconnect, and we'll be speaking more about this in point number 3. But what we can say is that every dumper is going to wonder about their ex. You know, you are part of their life story. They will always have thoughts about you. They will have triggers. And as I said, they are expecting you to contact them. And if you don't contact them, this is going to create a surprising wonder in their mind. They'll be thinking about you and they'll be wondering, why haven't they contacted me? It's not that I want them to, but why haven't they? And this is another step on the journey of how a Dumpee can grow romantic emotional attraction in their ex's mind to the point of where one day they may reach out to them. And we'll be speaking more about this in point number 3. And point number 3, the final point of today's podcast of what happens when you don't contact your ex. Point number 3 is they hit the crossroads. So the crossroads in a dumper's mind is when the wonder has really risen in their mind to where they have to consider what their next step is. And the crossroads will ultimately be one of 2 options. It will either present regret in a dumper's mind or it will present relief. Now, if you are a Dumpee and we get to point number 3 in the dumper's mind, this is when relief isn't going to be helping you. As I said in point number 1, if they're feeling relaxed initially and some relief initially, that's fine. But if we get to point number 3, if we get this far along, and this is likely to be months down the line, then if your ex-dumper feels relief after they've wondered about you, then this shows, unfortunately, that they do not want to reconnect at this time. The reason for this will be based upon your relationship, your breakup, and the aftermath. Let's say, for instance, you are no longer contacting your ex, but initially after the breakup, you contacted them a lot. Okay, that would not have helped your cause. If the breakup itself was a very messy breakup, if the relationship wasn't really all that great, if you're honest, those things, unfortunately, will work against a Dumpee at the crossroads. Because a dumper will certainly wonder about their ex, but if they feel that they have then made the right decision at this time, This is when they'll feel relief and they'll think, yeah, I'm wondering, I don't know why they haven't contacted me, but I'm relieved they haven't, After thinking about it for a long time, this was the best for me and the best for them. But if we're going to think positively for a dumpee who wants to get their ex back, the crossroads can also represent something a lot more magical, and that is the dumper may feel regret. So after feeling relaxed in point number 1, and then we move into point number 2, the wonder. The weeks and weeks, the months and months potentially of wonder. If the dumper then concludes that they miss their ex, they made a mistake, they want to speak with their dumpee, this is regret. And this is where romantic emotional attraction has grown to the necessary high point of where a dumper will likely reach out to their dumpee. Now, this doesn't mean you get your ex back. I believe that the most challenging part of trying to get an ex back isn't my version of a no contact rule, isn't the time where you're not contacting your ex, but instead, in my belief, this is the moment of where the communication stage comes in, and this is the most challenging time. Because if you get your ex to contact you, that's fantastic, but you need to navigate the choppy waters of the communication stage and get a meet. You can't date or get your ex back via texting or phone calls. You need to meet, and you meet via the communication stage. You get to the point when you're conversing either in text message or over the phone, and it gets to the point where a meet will take place. Now, I'm not going to concentrate right now on all the intricacies of a communication stage. There is some general do's and don'ts, but it is also fairly specific to the unique individual, and a lot of my audio coaching clients contact me because they want support during the communication stage or in preparation for if and when this might happen. If you want more details of how we can speak one-on-one via my audio coaching service, check out my website, www.dateme.tips. So when the crossroads takes place and the dumper really considers their thoughts, as they've been wondering, they will either feel relief and feel that this was the right decision ultimately, and they will move forward with their life without contacting their dumpee, or alternatively, as I said, they will feel regret. They'll feel like, you know what, I really miss my ex. I don't know why they haven't contacted me. I think I've made a mistake. I'm going to reach out. Then the communication stage takes place, and then that is where, if you do everything right, you will increase your chance of meeting your ex in person, and therefore you are only one step away from reconnecting in a new relationship. Because if you meet in person and you have an excellent time together, you have a wonderful date, this is when you can reconnect on new, stronger foundations to build a relationship which hopefully will last forevermore. Always remember, though, that with or without your ex, you will have a positive future if you live your life in a positive way. For those of you who don't get your ex back, your life can be even more fantastic than you ever imagined it was with your ex, because if you do everything that I suggest in my podcasts, improving every single day, living your life to the full, you will increase and grow your attraction net and become somebody who can attract somebody even better than your ex. It really is win-win. You will either get your ex back or you will find somebody even better if you live a positive life following my hints, tips and advice. If you believe that this podcast has helped you, then please consider buying me a coffee. The link to do so is in the description.
Yeah, if you miss your ex, we can help with that. Help you get him back, or we can help find you someone else. Yeah, Vincent Bo, the relationship coach, giving you some insight, bringing you a new approach. DateMe.tips, go and check the site, giving you advice, helping with your love life. Get your ex back, or move to the next. Ain't no sweat, you know Vincent Bo got you. Finding love ain't no problem. Yeah, DateMe.tips, check it out now.